Andrew from BBB here with John Rawling. How are you doing, John?
I'm very well, thank you.
Having a good day in Leeds?
Yeah, it's always good coming up here, isn't it? I mean, it's become quite a fight city. There's always a buzz up here, and you're aware of how much people love this guy, Josh Warrington, when you come up here.
Yeah, there's a few of us just discussing obviously his popularity and the fact he's managed to get that world title. It just helps the whole city build off it, doesn't it? Sean O'Hagan was hinting at earlier. There's opportunities now for other boxers.
Yeah, there's a buzz, isn't there? And you see some, if you're a young lad who's got half an inkling to give boxing a go, and you look at the success that Josh has achieved over the last few years, and particularly since he won the title last May against Lee Selby. I mean, it's inspirational stuff, isn't it? It's life changing, and it goes to show that. You don't have to be a Prat to become a star as well. He's very much a man of the people, and you can see why people latch on to Josh and why they want to come and watch him fight.
He is, and what I found refreshing today was obviously the language barrier helped this a little bit, but there was no trash talk. They're both fairly respectful of each other, and it's still quite an intriguing fight. And obviously Sofian Takush, not many people will have heard of him.
Well, Sofian's never been stopped. He's only been beaten 3 times. He's not lost in 8 years or thereabouts, I think I'm right in saying. He's coming into this on the back of an unbeaten run of 8 fights. He's there as the IBF number 4 ranked challenger. And I think it speaks volumes really about him as a fighter. The fact that he's been a pro since 2006, and in all that time he's been a featherweight. And you know enough about boxing to know that one thing that tells you is that he very much lives the life. If you don't do that, you'll be going up in the weights as you get older. You only need to look at the guy to see that he's a fit man, and I'm told that he comes to fights. He's a southpaw, he's aggressive, and I think it'll be very much more of a spectacle than the last fight was against Kid Galahad.
Yeah, I mean, just hitting onto that one, you said right at the start of the press conference, styles make fights. Hopefully this one will catch fire a bit more than that one did. I think.
Well, Kid Galahad fought to a game plan, didn't he? They'd worked out the tactics, and there were people watching it who thought that he'd done enough. Now, I don't believe so. I think Josh rightly got the decision, but there were those who thought otherwise. But, it doesn't mean to say that those sort of tactics make for a good spectacle, and it wasn't a good spectacle. Nobody could say that was a good fight, and I think this will be a very much better fight. And Josh, I think, having been part of that last one, he was displeased to have been dragged into such a messy, spoiling kind of fight. And he feels that he's on a mission to try and give his fans something back, to try and produce some real entertainment come October the 12th.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. He even seemed despondent today talking about that, and obviously there's the issue with the other champions not particularly seeming interested in fighting.
Valdez is moving up. Santa Cruz didn't want to know, apparently. Gary Russell Jr. never seems to fight, so the options at the moment weren't out there. The WBO title with Valdez moving up is being declared vacant, so it may well be that we get a new champion who's going to be prepared to fight Josh Warrington sometime next year. I think that's probably the most likely scenario for a unification fight if it comes sometime in 2020.
And obviously you mentioned earlier that could be Shakur Stevenson, which would be an intriguing fight, definitely.
Yeah, Shakur Stevenson is a talent, no question about it. I've watched him, live, and the guy is good. He was an Olympic silver medalist. He's undefeated as a professional. He's got bags of self-confidence. He's a typical, if you like, American motor mouth, and he's going to produce the sort of aura which will impress a lot of people, and it's the sort of fight which will certainly motivate Josh if he gets through Sofian okay, and if that turns out to be a unification fight in 2020. Stevenson against Warrington has a nice ring to it.
It certainly does. And just moving briefly away from the world title fights and Josh himself, is there anything on the undercard that's caught your eye that you're particularly looking forward to for the Leeds show?
Well, there's some decent fights there, aren't there? There's Bateson, the local favourite, Lyndon Arthur's in action, and a very good-looking fight for Zelfa Barrett, who's up against McCrory, who's a tough guy who always comes to fight. And Zelfa had a very good win against Leon Woodstock Jr., and he'll be looking to produce the sort of performance that shows he's ready for a big championship showdown against Bowers at some stage in the future. But you know, it's a good-looking undercard, and I think it's going to be another terrific occasion at the First Direct Arena for Leeds boxing fans.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, John. Much appreciated.
Okay.